So mainly want to test out this mic, see how it works. Last one was cutting out. Hypervolting, since I'm not doing the fix anymore at Ridgeline since quarantine, the way I use it is actually with foundation training. Just made sense to me. So I'll show you some of the moves I do. This is called the woodpecker stance. So you don't have to get super wide with this. It's more just here. You want to more about lengthening. And that's the idea with the muscles, is kind of that eccentric contraction, decompressing. And I'll just kind of hinge, breathing in, exhaling. If you got good balance, you can kind of do that with the arm. Kind of staying on an area for a second instead of just, doing 1,000 reps there. And I watched the training for Hypervolt. That's how it was. It was just really just stimulating one area, kind of pressing against that. So I'm driving my knee into there, sinking in, go past that knee joint, that rat-tat-tat on the bone. Probably not very useful. Trying to keep the spine straight as you can is the trick. And we're gonna go all the way to the arch of the foot. Little rat-tat-tatty. Alright, good. Let's switch that up. Inner thigh, a little close to home, right? So still trying to push in, driving into the pressure. Skip right over the knee. Just along the Achilles tendon. And then arch of the foot, medial arch. Good. I'll do the same thing. We're going to do the outside of the leg now. Switch it up. So this is where I usually really feel this stretch right here. You definitely turn the gun up if you want. I'm going to do about 2. You don't want to be knocking yourself over. So piriformis, external rotators. So when I squeeze, it's almost like I'm trying to internally rotate that hip. If you gotta notice something's tighter, you can spend more time on it. You can add a little rotation. Now you think this would externally rotate, but you're keeping that front leg in. So as my back leg is also internally rotating, my left is forced to counter rotate. So that opens up that hip joint a little bit. Again, the gun kind of staying stagnant, and you're adding the movement. The muscle is moving underneath the gun, if that makes sense. And I know that's pretty much the exact opposite of what you're doing with this thing at home. So hopefully this at least gives it some new ideas, even if you're not into foundation training. Oh yeah. And it's okay to not do foundation training if you want to. Hey, let's get a little knee bend here. Sure. Especially with the quad though. Once we hit the kind of right below the ASIS, I want you to think about driving the hips back. So maybe we'll even do a normal founder for this one. So that's both legs here. Pushing them back into a hip hinge. I'll show you that from the side. But it's the same idea we were doing before. Sinking in, letting the knees hips travel backwards, not letting the knees bend past the ankle, but almost trying to get them back. Just to mix it up, get out of the split stance a little bit. But I really like that split stance. Solves a lot of knee issues, patellar tracking issues, but so does this. So. Good. So now we're going to try to get that shin, which is probably going to be easier in the split stance again. So I'm going to do a little bit of a windmill here. So really just testing the balance. It's almost like I'm trying to grab the ground with that foot. Like a suction cup, not just the medial arch grabbing or the lateral arch grabbing, but all three arches grabbing together. And this is my favorite, where I have a little bit of arthritis from previous injuries. So getting the musculature in between the tarsal bones. Good. Whew. So let's do all that again on the right side. Face this direction, I guess. So we're kind of pretending like we're a pair of scissors. We're squeezing the floor. Then we can add a little bit of a hinge. And then I'm rotating towards the side. And this right hip, actually not moving, everything else is moving. Right hip is kind of it's locking. Hinging. First hinging. That's what we call woodpecker rotations. Just kind of hitting different spots. If you feel like you've shrunk, you've lost your hinge, you can pull in again from the hips. My tendency is to use thoracic extension, which is more this. Make sure your motion is indeed coming from the hips, which is tough for me to do. Oh, yeah. So you're like, what about the hamstrings? This is when I'm kind of getting the hamstrings. This is the lateral hamstring. Anyone know the name of that one? Well, there's two. It's the biceps femoris. So short head's down here. Ooh, and I can feel that short head. That's a big one with the knee people. The knee people. Your knee. Often very tight. In the chiropractic world, I noticed this one. Oh yeah. Because that runs down along with the long head. They go to the tibia and the fibula here. Awesome. And I'm cheating a little bit. I'm moving the applicator around a little bit. It's all good. I think we already got that calf, right? No, I didn't get the outside of the foot. That's right. I never went down on the other side to get that. So let's do. What am I doing here? I don't really know what you call that. Sort of windmill trace. Oh, it's good to have the wall here. Supposed to glide your hand up. And then let's do the same, get the shin. Well, I'll do this first. So we are squeezing, anchoring, decompressing. Anchoring is pulling the hips in, then decompressing before we hinge. That's the trick. So you're going to feel a lot of stretch initially in the hamstrings. And then as you raise the arm, stretch in the back, mid-back area. Oh, yeah. Whew. Yeah, I never really use level 3 unless I really hate something. That's powerful. Level 2 is intense though. Alright, then we'll get back into the split stance. I'll show you a little bit of arm stuff, but I'll explain why I care so much about the legs. Oh yeah, so the trace, I don't know if I can show it to you, but essentially it looks like you're starting at the hip and you're tracing up around the shoulder, then going down, then reversing that. So that's what I'm trying to do. I can't say I'm succeeding. Foundation training's hard enough without Hypervolt. There's no like special moves. You can tell I'm kind of making up my own stuff here. And then my favorite. This is actually the foot I have more arthritis on. Whew. I'd say you'd want to be off balance doing this stuff. So do a little shoulder one. This is that looks like a tricep stretch, but we're gonna do it with a hinge. This is how I teach people to stretch their triceps, because they're always like, yeah, I don't really feel it, doc. Look what you did to your spine. Right? So you gotta get everything in line. So let's see if I can do this. So grabbing the elbow, applicator over the shoulder. You can get that split stance again if you want. It doesn't really matter. Just see which way like I want to do. And then doing that hinge. It's probably really loud in your ear. And then you could do reps. That's essentially what I have people do without the Hypervolt. Try not to use too much extension in the spine. Get a little bit in the front of the trap. Almost right beside the SCM. Applicator doesn't have to be directly pressing down. It's gonna work things no matter where it is, even from the side. Let's just do a hinge here on this side. So I'm raising this arm as I hinge. So it's not about how you can get the arm up. Whew. It's about finding that stretch earlier by not abusing your spine. All right, another one. Probably the lat, I guess this would be. And this one I usually have to take terrible form with my spine, because you're gonna press that knee into that elbow. And that just gives you good grounds here for kind of doing this little, oh man, that little action. We're straightening the spine. Oh, that wall is very helpful. Just kind of working your way up the lat muscle. So you're probably not going to be able to get all the way into the, oh, I guess I can. Ooh. A little bit into the pec muscle. Wow. that pec muscle. They don't like that. Show you one more side, and then I gotta go to work. Just trying to lengthen the spine, I guess is what I'm doing. Hello, wife. Oh, and that's it for, there's a lot more you could do. Maybe I'll make another video, but I'm beat, I'm loose, ready to go run or do something. For me, I'm ready to go to work and not try to get the corona.